Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everyone? What's going on, Chip? Good day today. You know why it's a good day? Every day is a good day, except for when the bear markets hit. Still a good day. Just got to keep thinking forward. Confusion to clarity. SEC, Ripple, Uniswap. Man, say that one in a sentence to try to figure out how the SEC factors into anything positive. And then you've got XRP's role, or maybe I should say the XRPL, or maybe I should say Ripple's role in B2B payment innovations, because there's going to be some amazing things that are coming down the pipeline for innovation in the B2B, B2C space, mostly B2B. That's where we want to see it when it has to do with blockchain, cryptocurrency, innovations, not under Gary Gensler, though.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, man,
I'm
we
still
got all
here.
that stuff to cover, whole bunch of other great things to cover. We're going to dig in. Got some commentary from some attorneys, got some commentary for maybe some of us, and Chip, we got a big boom coming. So,
Boom.
boom.
Ooh.
Ready
Ready
to
for
kick
the
this thing
boom?
off? Ready
Let's
for the
go.
boom.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome everybody to On the Chain. I hope everybody's settling in and kind of popping in here. And don't forget to
Patsy Green.
tip the waiters and the bartenders for serving those drinks, and just take care of the staff. You know what I mean? They always say that when you go into a pub. They're like, DJ's always like, take care of don't forget to tip everybody. And
Make
yeah,
sure
make sure you
that.
say that.
Gotta
But
take
drop
care
where
of
you're
the
coming in
servers.
from. Let's see where you're coming in from. Bry Guy's here. Evening, he says. Evening. Patsy's here. There we go. By the
Good
way, Patsy,
evening.
I spent a week in Canada in Montreal, and I loved it. By the way, it was fantastic.
Nice.
Enjoyed it. I laughed and cried. Great people. Great,
It's a great
amazing.
place to be.
I had some of the best food I've had in a long time. The prices were a sticker shock. I'm not gonna lie, but then I realized,
Cheap?
it's $1.35. It's
Is on the cheap
35.
side,
Everything
or
was
did it bounce up?
35% off. It's pricey, man.
Really?
Like 6 of us went out for tapas, right? We all got a
Mhm.
separate bar tab. 6 of us,
Yeah.
just tapas, shareable foods. You throw it on the
Mhm.
table. Yeah, let's get some
Oh,
of these.
yeah.
It was like $71 a person.
Hey, it sounds
There's
like
6
just
of
like
us.
here, except normally it's like 100. So
But
there's
I
your
realized it was only
$35 and your 30%
50 bucks. So it really wasn't bad at all. I was like, oh, it's only 50 bucks in separate bar
Okay.
tab.
So
A
you're talking
pint
about
at the
71
airport is
Canadian. There
14
we
bucks, Jeff. The Montreal airport was $15
man,
per pint,
highway robbery.
which is 11. But it was good. It was good. It was good pub and good food. Actually, the food was cheaper, which is weird. And then I bought some. My buddy wanted some cigarettes for his liquor. Is very
Very
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, it was funny. When I was buying cigarettes on the way back, because my buddy's girl
You smoke?
smokes
I didn't
a
know that.
certain. No, his girl smokes a certain. And I got it, and I also bought a thing of whiskey, Jeff.
Mhm.
And the whiskey was like $70 for whiskey, for Canadian whiskey. That seems crazy. And then it turned out the cigarettes were 130. It was a pack, and
Then you're loving your whiskey.
I'm gonna have to show it to you because there's no brand of the cigarettes on there. It's a guy with a tracheotomy. It's a black lung on one. It's like full color pictures. Like they don't really want you buying this stuff. You're like, I think I'll be okay. I'm gonna make
I
it.
didn't even know people still smoke cigarettes. And every so
They
often you
do.
run into someone,
They
especially
do, and
overseas.
they at the duty free. And then I bought some. What's it called?
Duty.
Circuit or some kind of cool whiskey that was like $70 Canadian. I
How
was
was
like,
it?
all right. Haven't tried it yet, Jeff. I think I'm gonna
Mm.
break into it this weekend. That's
There
what
you
I'm
go.
thinking. So went
Break
over
that
and
bottle open.
a couple of cigarettes. Insane. Yeah, the cigarettes are insane. It was 8 packs in there though, but still $130.
Eight
Damn.
packs.
Which is like, it came out, I think it's like 94, almost $95 American. USD. That's something.
Who turned my
So
flashlight
anyway,
on?
it's good stuff. Enjoyed it. Great people. People are very
Ooh.
talkative. It's funny, Jeff. I was asking like people. I told this on Saturday, but since Patsy's here, I was saying, I was going out to people like, "Hey, Justin Trudeau, what do you think? Positive or up or down vote?" And like, I mean, not one person, just random people. I was asking. Not one person said, "Yeah, I'm a fan of the guy."
Are they allowed to admit to it, or they're not allowed to
none of
admit to it?
them. They all
Like,
admitted
what's
that they disliked the guy with the passion.
Hmm.
They made a face like, they made one of these faces. And I didn't position. I was just like, "Hey, Justin Trudeau, good, bad, up, down. What do you think? Where are you at? What do you think? Any of an opinion?" One guy said, I hate him. The
Look at
server in
this.
a restaurant started he came up to me and started chatting me up and telling me all the things he was angry about. I was like, all right, man, you're
that how it
good.
is?
I appreciate you. Yeah,
So it looks
Canadians.
like
Look at Matt says Canadians
gonna
being
get
the new
into it.
peso. It's becoming the new peso. It really is. What's going on, man?
There we
Good to see
go.
you, man.
Man, I'm messing with the Rumble over here, and the Rumble's like all
Smokers collect
jacked
those
up.
different images like an NFT collection. Oh wow, I got Tar in Your Lungs one. I gotta find it. I have it somewhere. I'll have to grab it. But it's
Jacked
the
up.
greatest. I'll show it on camera. It's like, what? I don't even know. Like,
There's Chip,
if I
there's some
didn't ask the
Hi
woman
there,
what's going
legends.
on, Crypto
On
Queen, she was just
fire.
on here the other day. Speaking of legend, who's becoming a legend?
Swisher Sweets and Boone's Farm.
Man,
There you
you're
go.
hurting me now, Mark. Mark,
All right.
please don't say that. Anyway, let's get going with
Confusion
this
to
stuff.
legal clarity. Man, just know it's
Well,
confusion to clarity. That's it.
clarity. It's Peter.
We're making it
Is
clear.
that last name?
Making it real clear. There's not much logic, but we're gonna make it clear.
There's no logic, Jeff. But look at this. So, Stu Alderati put this up yesterday in the Supreme Court. Of course, he still doesn't abbreviate it properly, and I correct him every time. But that's all right. It's SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States. Anyway, Supreme Court impressed for a limiting principle between a bribe and a gratuity. The government said, "Trust us, bro."
Yeah.
Not to prosecute cases unfairly. When told the government's promise of good faith wasn't good enough, the question was repeated. Where is the line? The line is it's a government agency, Jeff, and they do whatever they want. They care not. They make up their own justice. They make up their own rules. And nobody seems to care much about it. Everyone's just like,
But they say trust us. We got to trust them,
bro.
In full, 100%.
Dive in. I mean,
full faith.
It's just the trust us, bro. I mean, I don't trust them. I'll be honest with you, I don't trust them at all. I have zero trust in the government.
Yep.
The government
Rob McDermott.
Rob McDermott's here. Jeez, the gang's all here, man. This is very exciting.
So we're waiting.
Don't worry, Rob. Don't worry, Rob. I got your Yeti. We'll settle up on that.
You got a badass Yeti for Rob.
Yeti.
We got a badass Yeti for Rob.
Not finding this other.
Oh, here's the other one. So I've got another Stu Alderati ready to go here.
That's the one I wanted. I wanted the one about the confusion. Is that the one you got, Jeff?
There's confusion. There's a little bit of confusion. Seeing some confusion on next steps with the SEC v. Ripple case. I think there's been confusion right from day one. I mean, the whole thing has been just absolutely confusing. It's like, well, number one, what was the SEC's objective? Was it to bring about regulatory clarity? I'm leaning on that side of it, Chip. I'm leaning on the SEC's objective was to help provide a clear path to regulatory clarity. Otherwise, why would they spend so much money prosecuting to undermine retail investors? That's the. But let's
Jeff,
go.
You're way too kind. You're getting way too kind. You're giving them a long rope to hang themselves. What you're doing?
There you go.
There. I mean,
there we go.
That's what it sounds like, man.
A big long one. Yes. To clarify.
Remember when Rob McDermott and Matt and you, we were all hanging out with Tommy. Remember that?
Man,
that was awesome.
I remember that. Man.
That was awesome.
Man, you remember that?
I remember that.
That was awesome.
That was so much fun, man. Thanks to Matt for driving us around and putting up with this.
Oh yeah.
I still think the
big
best
shout
thing.
out.
No, we were three of us
shout
in the
out
car.
to Matt and Allie for driving us.
Yeah,
around.
and we were driving around. Matt was driving around. We were singing, and I was just going through my. It was funny because Matt thought it was a playlist, but it was just all these Aussie bands off the top of my head, and we were just singing at the top of our lungs, and it was just that was
a blast.
Blast, just driving around, man. It was very good stuff, man.
That
Haven't gone to town yet. However, I started a job Monday, and there's a Starbucks nearby. There you go, baby.
Oh, look at that!
Congrats on that new job.
Ah, man.
On 4/29, you have a little bit of time.
Oh,
good.
Wait, Monday, the 29th of April.
Yeah, that always screws me up, even though it's more right.
And there's
even
a
though it's more right,
Starbucks.
Jeff.
So now Tommy can come over. There's a Starbucks right near where Matt's working, and it's perfect.
When I was signing the docs on my new house, the only way I could do it is the European way. Like, it wouldn't let me do, I had to put month, day, year. And I was like, because no matter what I did, it kicked it out. I'm like, what is this? European docs? What's going on? Aussie docs? What's going on? It was just crazy. I just keep laughing at Tommy, and you will drive by at least one of them before wave 25. Yeah, right. It's
Maybe
bound
not.
to happen.
But the point is that To his defense, he
Look at
did
that.
want to get a specific cup with a Starbucks stamp on it that said something about Australia. Maybe it said Gold Coast,
I think it was,
something like
yeah.
that.
I just ordered online, Jeff. I
I
don't
never
mess around
saw
with
it.
that.
I never saw
I
it.
still never saw it. I don't even know if he got it. But crypto and bullion consultant for Ansley Bullion. Remember, we were giving those Ansley Bullions away that Allie and Matt had
That's right. We
purchased.
were giving those away. That was a
Door
lot of fun
prizes.
too. Oh,
It was
wait a
like
minute.
blue
You're-
$7.49. It was like nobody
He's a
had it. Nobody had their
Crypto.
tickets.
Man, where's my
We're gonna
ticket?
clean that up next year. We're gonna make that a
I
little
actually
bit
have
better.
B80. I'm saving B80 and I'm going to bring B80 with us next year.
The bin chicken. It's stuck with Tommy. Bin chicken. So bin chicken. What do we call them here? Crows. I don't know. We call them. What do you call them? Those garbage. Those birds that eat garbage. They call them bin chickens.
Not sure, but I
and
have
they're-
them behind the house. They're outside.
They're ebas. What are they? What are they, Jeff? They're something like that.
They're egrets.
That's what I meant.
But our egrets,
Our egrets
are.
Our egrets are dignified. They don't have to go near garbage.
That's what I was
way
gonna
too
say.
good for that.
They don't go anywhere.
Have you ever
close,
seen anywhere?
nowhere.
They
Never.
call them bin chickens. I'm like, dude, our
bin
egrets are like they're way too
And they're pampered.
hoity-toity. They're like, no,
Oh yeah.
I don't do garbage.
No, they
On
hang
our-
out on the lake. They pick
Oh, they hang on
bugs
the
out of the
lake.
grass.
Yeah, they eat little lizards. They eat
Yeah.
worms and stuff. I guess there's more food for them.
That's
An
right.
ibis, yeah, ibis, same thing.
Yeah, there's
Ibis.
no food in Australia. That's why the bin chickens have to go into the garbage can.
nothing,
That's what it
Jeff.
is. You know,
It's
the
incredible.
problem in Australia is all the bugs are so big that that if the bird tries to eat the bug fights back. Over here, they go after worms and stuff like that. The worms must be like gargantuan size over in Australia as they're coming out of the ground.
Yeah,
you know.
right.
I think that's part of the problem.
That's what the problem is. So read this. What he's saying about the confusion here. What is the confusion?
Oh, that's right. I forgot we were even talking about this.
We were talking.
That's
Squirrel.
squirrel.
Feline.
The funny part is that we left it up. We should have just gone back to profile as we're talking.
It happens, man. It happens.
So let's go back to scene. So seeing some confusion on the next steps with the SEC versus.
Oh, wait. Wait, hang on a second. Fabio just joined us. We got to talk about Fabio a little bit now. We got to go off topic and talk about that. Oh, we had some good times. I got to tell you, man. Hanging with Fabio was like.
It was a
We had some good conversations and hanging out, some photos. But here he comes strolling in. But yeah, it was the one running the point on the whole Aussie thing. We see what happens. You take us off. You get us out of the control.
See, this is my point, and Matt confirms it. Bugs actually do prey on the birds in Australia. Hence,
that's why they
the
have
birds in
bin
Australia are starving, and they're now bin chickens. It all makes sense. Completely
all makes
understand.
sense right there. Yeah. Fantastic, Jeff. What's going on
All
with
right.
Jeff Alvarado?
What's going on with Stuart Alderani?
It took us all show to get through this.
To clarify, let me clarify this point. To clarify, Ripple will file its response to the SEC's request for penalties by April 22nd. Wow, that's coming up. Man, that's on Monday. And then the SEC has until May 6th to reply. There's no final pretrial conference because the SEC dismissed the charges against Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. Now, the thing is, they knew right in the beginning that those charges, they'd have to drop them because they were bad charges. The whole thing just completely out of whack. And Crypto Eddie is saying Southern District of New York civil and criminal proceedings calendar week of April 15th, going into the final pre-trial. And there we go. Securities and Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs. Final pre-trial. April 16th at 2 p.m. You think we can make it? Oh, wait, that was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Well, also, too, nothing happened. But this is what happened. Everyone's going, settlement. I'm like, guys, just do some basic reading.
Here we go again.
Comprehension is like, readability is not like one of the things anymore, Jeff. You know the thing. It's not one of the things. Like people, first of all, there's a rabid case of mental illness in the United States. I think it's worldwide, but I've really noticed an uptick in mental illness here.
There's definitely a mental illness problem.
I have some stories to show that. But
Good.
speaking of mental illness, Jeff, where's the story?
Rob said, as you're pulling it up, sorry. Rob said, you see Stewart's other tweet? Did you see it? Gary's a bin chicken.
Gary's a bin chicken. Yeah, that's about the size of it. I'd love
What the hell? Bin chicken.
Oh man, the hell these things ready to go to. Oh, here it is right here, Jeff. So let's do this. Don't be shocked when you see this, but check this out. There's an analyst that keeps the faith in XRP, targets $288 despite the price retreat.
That's
And
right.
honestly, this is blind, Jeff. I didn't read this article. I just don't know who Christian Ancilla is. He
But
wrote
it's from today.
but it's from today, and it's an XRP.
Hang on.
It's 3 minutes. It'll take us a whole show to read it, but
Hang on. Wait a minute. This deserves.
what is it? You got it? You got it ready?
Okay. Wait.
Man, my totally crisped it out. I don't hear
You
anything.
blocked it all out. Did you hear any of it?
Nothing. Got
Oh
nothing.
man. Let me do it again. Got the
Well, what
drum
is it?
roll. Drum roll.
Okay.
Wah 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 wah.
Okay.
Cartoon style.
I don't hear it, man.
Oh man, come on.
Okay. It starts off, it's like a
Crisp.
movie. In the tumultuous world of cryptocurrency where prices can soar to unprecedented heights one day and plummet to new lows the next, XRP, the digital asset associated with Ripple, finds itself at the center of attention once again. Despite recent dips in its value, XRP enthusiasts remain steadfast in their optimism, fueled by unwavering confidence of crypto analyst Javon Marks. Now, I don't know who this is. Did you ever heard of this person before? Javon Marks?
Let's look it up.
I have no idea who Javon Marks is,
I don't know.
but he has a bold prediction.
That's good.
He's known for his
We
bullish.
like bold predictions.
Now, has anybody in the comments heard of this guy? He's known for his bullish outlook on XRP. Here's a guy who's into XRP. He's got a bullish outlook on it. I've never heard. Now, he's predicted a jaw-dropping 400x surge in the price of XRP, envisioning the digital asset reaching remarkable territory of 280. Listen, if it gets to 280, that would be a bullish, remarkable sort of a prediction. It's an audacious forecast, comes in the face of recent challenges for XRP, including the notable dip in value and ongoing market turbulence. I just don't know where this is coming from, Jeff. And who is this guy? Have you found anything on him?
I have, yes.
And here, I guess he puts out tweets. So here's a.
I got him right here. Oh, you got him. It's got 36,000 followers.
A full logarithmic follow through of prices may be more than poised for 200 plus.
That's right. Solana.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like it's
Ready
never
for
done this before, but it's ready. It's done that. It's done that, and so that's the next big sort of way. I don't know, Jeff. I don't understand this TA stuff, but yeah, I guess.
Sometimes maybe it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's difficult. But then they're analyzing and looking, but maybe we'd have to go back retrospectively and look at what the price movements were per individual prediction, and we can go back and look. Okay, in March, here's what he predicted would happen after a period of time, and look, it actually happened. We see the outcome. That's how you go back and do your stock research. You go back, look at your theories based on outcome that you know the answer to, and then you check your theory based on stats that happened before and track it forward. And maybe we can look, use his as an example.
You and your logic, Jeff. You and your logic. Let's talk about something exciting.
But I don't know what's happening here, but I'm pushing for the 288 per coin, because you see Rob's post right there. If it hits 288 per XRP, he is flying all of us back private to Wave of Innovation 2025. Hear that?
There, dude.
Now that means we got to push for a $288 XRP.
Javon Marks is never wrong, Jeff. He's always spot on. So, Rob, we're gonna be collected on that. If it hits 280, I'd be excited. Yeah, you'd buy a pub. Buy that pub.
I thought he said he was going to buy at the pub, but he's saying he's actually going to buy the pub. My vote, if you're going to buy a pub, is the pub on the top of Mount Tambourine, because if you buy that one,
that's a good look,
and that one's kick ass. So it's a nice Irish pub, and we can all gather there. It would be very cool.
We can gather there. So let's talk about something exciting. Let's talk about something important. Badass Yetis. Look at this. Badass Yetis. The badass Yetis. So I posed this to Aaron McDonald, who also was at the Wave of Innovation and did a phenomenal keynote there. And we got to meet him, which was cool because we had him on the show twice. And of course, we got to meet Scotty as well. Momenta. And man, had such a great time hanging out with Scotty. What a cool dude. Anyway, so people showing the alt state connector, which is this 3D can turn a 2D image into a 3D. And I said, well, hey, what about the badass Yetis? I could see like an XLS20 in collection. And we just
Right.
put like, yeah, what about this dude right here, right? And this was back
Mhm.
in, gosh, when was this? No, that was on March 15th. And
Oh,
so
that was today.
Mr.
Awesome.
Aaron McDonald, Captain McDonald, put this up. He said, I think we're almost there, mate, with the alt state machine. Look at that right
Look at
there.
that. It's been working on
Look at
this
that right there. Now this is
day and night for a month.
that right
Day
there.
and night.
The image turned into a 3D, fully riggable model. And this is the
Yep.
version before. Apparently, they won't get. Someone asked them, like, "Hey, is this the latest version?" He goes, "No, I don't have access to it." I'm like, "You're the CEO. You own the company. You're like the founder." I don't think they didn't give him access, but he
They
was
didn't give
saying,
him access.
so there's the one, and here's the other one. Look at this. This is 3D, man, and
It's
it's only
so
going to get better.
amazing.
It's
Imagine
freaking
those guys running around the metaverse. I can't wait. Because
just
they will
running
be.
around the ramp like your little
They're
Yeti
gonna
going crazy, little army of
Yep.
Yetis. You know, a fighting
They're
game.
gonna be in the mountains. That's right.
Anyway, this is super
Come and
exciting.
watch the Yeti wars.
I was blown away when I saw this. I was like, my God, that is something phenomenal. Look at that, Jeff. Oh, it's just terrific.
So cool. So amazing.
Uh,
You gotta love it.
so, Warren Davidson, who obviously was the first author of the
Mhm.
the crypto taxonomy. What was it called? The token
The
taxonomy,
Token Taxonomy Act.
2017, 6 years ago,
20
7
Man, that
years.
was
Damn,
6 years ago.
7 years. That was 24. Wow.
Wow.
So look at this. This
Crazy.
guy is he's a freedom fighter. He said, he put this up. Government agencies are buying non-public data that would otherwise require a warrant or a subpoena, but Congress confronts an opportunity to end that today by passing the Fourth Amendment is not for sale act. Nothing in this
Mhm.
bill would prohibit a search, paid or otherwise, of public information. It would, however, restore privacy protections grossly infringed by the current practices. Congressman Higgins, a career law enforcement officer, offers an amendment I enthusiastically support, making that clear that Mr. Lalota offers an amendment I adamantly oppose that undermines most of the bill's reach. So I have a video here from him. Let's take a look at a video we got here from
You got
let's check it out. But he was on Fox and he was talking about
Fourth
that.
Amendment is not for sale act. What is it, and why is this so important?
Yeah, it closes what's known as the data broker loophole. So what we found is federal agencies are buying data that would otherwise require a warrant or subpoena. So they're basically avoiding having to get a warrant in the first place. So one of the key things for the FISA reform is getting it to the point where you have to get a warrant if you want to search American citizens' data. The Foreign Intelligence Act works fine. We want to get after foreigners. But there's a reason there's not a Domestic Surveillance Act. It's called the Fourth Amendment. You're not supposed to have American citizens subject to data searched without a warrant or a subpoena. And so we want to add that requirement to get a warrant, but we also want to make sure that the warrant requirement itself isn't circumvented by buying the data around it.
Thoughts, Jeff?
That's smart. It's smart. And I'm looking at Matt's comment here, kind of all comes into
Yeah,
clarity.
we have that.
So I saw something recently from Eddie. So if we think about that and we think about digital currency, not cryptocurrency or, on the blockchain, more centralized central bank digital currencies, and the fact that they inherently lack privacy because they're prone to programming. There's no proof that they can't be programmed to allow a backdoor that would allow that the government to eavesdrop on your spending habit or program it to trigger an alert based on specific spending algorithm. And so I think one of the things that Warren Davidson has addressed this multiple times when it comes to the digital dollar or CBDCs, and there's others that have addressed the same thing, that you cannot have that without a full guarantee of privacy. And so so that's interesting. Matt saying, what about the Constitution? Don't worry about that. So, but that's exactly what the current administration does and continues to do. And previous administrations have done that as well, where they'll circumvent the Constitution, then becomes a legal battle. And so we see way too much. Even the Patriot Act, you look at the objective initially was to single out from a terrorist perspective and find individuals that might be planning and plotting. Then it just opened up where all of a sudden they're spying on everybody. And so that, there's all these, ill-baked, ill-conceived ideas that will circumvent constitutional rights ends up in the Supreme Court. And it, really, we need to have something on the books, especially when, you have someone like we have in the White House, or someone you have that chairs the SEC with their overreach and different representatives around the country. You got to protect yourself. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
for sure, Jeff. I mean, it's just getting to the point where it's again, the mental illness is getting out of control. Like, for example, there's been a lot of stuff talking about NPR recently, and we don't have to watch this video. I can tell you everything that's on it. This bird brain right here, I mean, I don't know. You just get on a camera, you start talking stuff, but this guy, Christopher Rufo, put this out. Catherine Maher says the number one challenge in her fight against disinformation, remember, she's the heads up the NPR, National Public Radio, which is funded by the U.S. government more than, I think, 70%, is the First Amendment. This is what she says. What's her biggest problem? I heard that. Her biggest challenge in her fight against disinformation is the First Amendment of the U.S., which makes it a little bit tricky to censor bad information and the influence peddlers who spread it. So why are they so concerned? And then Elon Musk retweeted it, reposted this and said, this keeps getting crazier. The head of NPR hates the Constitution of the United States. And the thing is that what people don't realize, the Constitution was written by the people for government. It wasn't written by government for the people. It was to protect the rights and free speech. So she's like, can you imagine you would openly say this? It's gotten to the point where they become so brazen, Jeff, that they just don't care anymore. It's like, we really want to set now, why would you be concerned? If somebody comes on here, Jeff, and they go like, the earth is flat, and you're like, okay, not okay, boomer, whatever you say, you like, nobody cares. You don't even listen. You just like, whatever. And someone says, no, it's really like an egg shape. You're like, great. Why are they so concerned about what other people think or what other people say? When this was going on, the C-19 thing, people were like, hey, I'm not down with that. And they're like, what? We will strip you of all your rights. We will put you in Australia, they're putting them out in camps. I mean, New Zealand, they were basically, burying them underground. I don't know what they're doing, something like that.
Something along those lines. They were putting them in caves, at least.
Caves or something. What is the problem, Jeff? Like, what is the danger of you saying something? If a group of people think, that's kind of crazy town, they don't listen to you. They shut you up or they turn you off. Like, I don't understand what this is.
This whole notion, the censorship world, and then they come out, they want to protect their own mental instability, right? Which is
illness.
You see a lot of mental disorder because of the fact that they've now, can you come out and say that they're full out communists? They're supporting a socialist construct. They support totalitarianism. They're not supporting the Constitution. They think, in their warped sense of reality, they think that this country has done no good throughout all the years of our existence. Yet we've always been the beacon of the free world, even though there's some transgression, there's some issues, that have occurred during some wars. But at the same point, no other country has done it, better. We've led the free world. We've defended the free world. We've died for the free world. And that's going to continue to happen. But then you have these suspicious individuals like the one in charge of NPR.
They're suspicious.
They are. they're very suspicious. Think about McCarthyism, back in the heyday where they were looking for communists within Hollywood, and they were singling out anyone. Oh, you're part of the Communist Party. This is the Communist Party. This is exactly what we've seen unfold after all those years. So how far off was McCarthy from the truth? Because over the period of time, we've seen the ill impact that not just in this country, but the whole world. There's this warped sense of ethics that has really inundated the airwaves in movies, TV shows, and beyond. And now even from a news perspective, dissemination of information, it's so much made up rhetoric. And then they're supporting a specific ideology. So even like NPR, which is National Public Broadcasting, which should be completely politically agnostic, is a known leftist entity. So that's crazy that you have a nonprofit that's broadcasting leftist propaganda because it's a known leftist entity, the media. And you have to, at some point, people have to wake up and take a step back and say, at least in the US, we have a constitution that is defending our rights and telling the government what they can and cannot do. And we do have two critical amendments, 1 and 2, the freedom of speech and the right to bear arms, that no other country has in that specific order. Typically, they'll put government rights well ahead of the individual rights. And so it's a very, very critical moment in history, and it's an awakening of sorts. I believe that blockchain has brought together freedom-loving people, cryptocurrencies, and the investment in has brought together freedom-loving people across the globe, and that power is getting stronger and stronger. And I think we're going to see the first winnable election with John Deaton overcoming what you could think of could potentially be unsurmountable odds, taking on a Goliath like Elizabeth Warren, only because her stature within the corrupted Democrat Party. And so that here we are, the cryptocurrency backing, helping to propel a new senator of the state of Massachusetts, and that will be John Deaton. And so that there's a lot to be said for the momentum. And Chip, you witnessed it going over to Australia. The freedom-loving people in Australia, not what you hear on the media over here, right? The amount of brainwashing and then the reality from the fiction that gets broadcasted. So there's more to come.
I was trying to find, there was a great meme. It said out of all the people that actually are employed in NPR, not one of them
Right.
is even a centrist or a conservative. So
yeah, I think that's true.
I was trying to find memes, so I searched for NPR memes, and this one came up. I thought this was a good one, Jeff. So why isn't China concerned about climate change? Because they already have a communist government.
That's a good one.
It's just I was like, God, I love this stuff.
Oh
man.
my God, that's awesome.
And this is really right here. This meme kind of sums it up right here. National propaganda radio, right? I mean, and if you listen to some of the nutters out there on X, who get their news from these people like the BBC and CNN and NPR, they really think this stuff is real. These people are just inventing this stuff in their heads. They're writing stuff up. A buddy of mine just excoriated one of these soy boy reporters. I wish I'll have to get his permission, but it was just one of the most brutal sort of takedowns that I've seen in a long time when he commented on his ridiculous sort of take. And then you have Elizabeth Warren out there. Jeff, she put a post out yesterday or today, I don't remember which. She wants to get rid of title insurance. She says it's a scam fee. I'm like, title insurance? First of all, I worked in the business. I've seen what happens if you don't have title insurance. There was a mistake made on the title 2 purchases before you. Sorry, you lose. And this is what happens. And that's why you pay for title insurance. She says it's a scam fee. I'm like, it's not a scam fee. If something happens to your title and you don't have title insurance, you lose your house. So, and I've seen all kinds, and they're usually clerical errors. Sometimes they're takedowns. Sometimes they've got blemishes on there. But she wants to get rid of this fee. She says when people refinance or they buy a new home, this is a scam fee. I'm like, it's such an essential fee, Jeff. It was so funny. I said that to a couple of real estate people in the real estate business, and they go, "This can't be real." I'm like, "It's real." She goes, "She is absolutely out of her mind." This is the kind of propaganda she's always attacking. She's anti-business. She's anti-innovation. She's anti pretty much anything. But what she isn't anti is getting out and getting off her fat ass and doing something. That's what she's not anti. She doesn't actually do anything. She doesn't author any bills that pass. She sits around and bitches and complains. The guy that's going to fix it is John Deaton. And John Deaton doesn't have to be all in with the Republican Party. He's at odds with some of the issues, but he follows his heart. He's going to do what's best for the people of Massachusetts, the Commonwealth there, that have been basically, kicked and scraped to the curb and dealing with all kinds of stuff. And that's why, I support John Deaton. I wish I could do more to. Everyone can contribute to his campaign if you live in the U.S., but you can buy his book, and there's other ways you can, support him online. So,
right.
Anyway, there you go, Jeff. It's your show.
Whoa.
Wrong button.
Where'd you go?
The hell, man! I'm on the wrong button.
I just kicked you off.
Jeff, you found the video. You found a video the other day that you gave.
I did.
To.
Yeah, but before we get there, I gotta. So I've considered strongly considered moving to Australia. And so
Are you gonna run for
there's
prime minister there? What are you gonna do?
or run for prime minister over in Australia. I think it's probably time,
Oh,
that
it's
we enact a constitution over in Australia. But the impetus of this would be this beautiful picture right here, which is the 2025 GMC Yukon that will now be a right-hand drive for all those, big roads that you
Ooh,
have over in Australia, especially when you go off-road and you got all these kangaroos. So how great is it to see
a tough one, Jeff.
an American made, and actually it's being retrofitted over in Australia, GMC Yukon built in Texas, probably over there in Australia with all these kangaroos around it.
Never saw one. Didn't see a wallaby. Saw nothing.
Saw nothing. Well, there you go, right there.
Saw some bin chickens. That's about it, though.
We saw bin chickens. We saw the rough comparative as we have over here. Yes.
A lot of those puppies, man. So, yeah, you found something. You know how you always see the boom videos? You actually found a video that was a boom.
Yeah. So where did it go? Do you have it?
Right here,
Is
I've
it
got it.
here? I'm trying
Right
to think
here.
where
Watch
we
it.
have it.
This full
I don't
screen.
have it.
What is money and how does it get value? Paper money has value because someone says so. Bitcoin is different. It's like digital gold. It has value for many of the reasons gold does, but that's only the start. Gold originally had value because it was scarce, but no one knows how much is left to dig up. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has a limited supply, 21 million, and it can never be counterfeited. Every day, more people are buying it, making it more scarce, making it more valuable. But you can also split it up because every Bitcoin is divisible by a lot. Each Bitcoin can be split into 100 million smaller units. So if one Bitcoin was worth $1 million, the smallest unit, called a Satoshi, would be worth 1 penny. So you can send whatever amount you want, and no one can stop you, because no central authority controls it. So unlike with banks and credit card companies, you don't need approval to use it, and no one can decide to just print more or shut it down. It puts the power back in all our hands. Bitcoin lets you control your finances. Kraken lets you buy Bitcoin. Kraken, see what crypto can be.
That's right.
That's great. Especially this very first
See what
part,
it can be.
they nail it.
Is money, and how does it get value? Paper money has value because someone says so.
That's it. That's the only reason. Someone said it's worth something. What is it worth? Whatever the face value that is on that.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But that's really all there is.
An
To it.
IOU.
There's more to it, Jeff.
It's an IOU.
It's like
Control.
back when it was backed by gold, it meant something, right? So it was a representation of gold. There's a continent. Oh, is it? Oh, is
America
it?
is a continent. I didn't know that.
See,
But
that's
you
weird.
know, the thing is, if you call yourself an American, everybody knows you're from the US, right? Even though Canada's in North America, then you have South American countries. People in South America don't run around saying they're American because
Right,
they're
Canada
from,
don't say they're American either. So
right? They don't say, right, they're Canadian, but we're
It's North
exclusively Americans.
South America. You say North America, you say South America, but you don't say America. You
Right.
say America, Merica, America.
America, right? That's right. If it's reference America, the
America.
country.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is, people.
We're here in America.
We're in America. So, Jeff, you know those meme coins going around? I saw the greatest video.
Never seen one.
I'm telling you, man, they're out there. So
Never owned one.
I haven't dabbled in them. Well, I haven't dabbled in them recently, but this one I thought was fantastic. This one is called not Tucker, but Tucker Carlson. There it is.
Tonight, I come to you with a very important announcement. Over the past few months, the establishment and their mainstream media machine have embarked on a powerful smear campaign against meme coins. They are trying to convince the mainstream that the same worthless coins that degens like yourselves have made life-changing and even wife-changing money from are nothing but degenerate, pointless tokens that come and go to zero with no real purpose. What they don't see is that when these worthless shitcoins get into the hands of the right community, they are a form of expression, a glue that creates a cultural movement against the establishment and the power that they have over our ideas, our thoughts, and our money. Tucker Carlson has always been about truth, humor, memes, and freedom. Tonight, we launch the next stage in our journey, taking the meme movement against mainstream media and the establishment to new heights. Tonight, we officially partner with Crypto Banter to create the Tucker Carlson Media Network. Together, we will leverage the Banter infrastructure to create a channel that will deliver humorous, powerful, informative, high alpha content that is free from the shackles and censorship of the establishment. You can expect daily shows, interviews with big names like Elizabeth Warren, Larry Pink, and the biggest crypto founders. We will cover crypto news and other relevant topics, and may even host the official presidential debate between Biden and Trump. We are using the power of the worthless memes to build a media channel around the largest cultural movement in history. And all of this is just the start. If you want to join us, the ticker is Tucker.
Apparently, it's a real meme coin, Jeff. And
Sweet.
you know, I
Get
mean,
some Tucker.
I like how they used Tucker Carlson's voice for that. It was pretty clever. And
Very cool.
Elizabeth
Smart.
Warren.
Good.
It's just
I
downright
like it.
despicable, Jeff. to be-
Mark was saying, as a former mortgage loan officer, Liz is a functional illiterate.
Absolutely. She's
Yep.
semi-functional. That's debatable. whether she's-
Semi-functional. Not
she's-
mentally functional. Rob is saying 2.1 quadrillion. That number always had my attention. You hear 21 Bitcoin, but really it's 2.1 quadrillion. Tokenomics, 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. Now do the same thing with drops. Factor that one. We have
Banshee.
try to factor it. You can come up with a number. I think it's probably, you can't count the zeros in XRP drops.
Yeah, I don't know how many drops there are. It's a lot.
But Elion is saying money is a social constructionism backed by perception management to control agreed upon value.
Pretty much. Well said. It's
good.
just whatever you say it's worth. And I used to say to my buddy, hey, why don't you get into crypto? He's like, it's not backed by anything. What's the US dollar backed by? The US? I'm like, okay, that's something, I guess. It's
The
worthless.
term mortgage comes from Old French, which means death pledge. That's interesting. That's
Death pledge. Pretty
and
much.
No Can Do is saying that's funny because the U.S. is a country with no borders. That's, you know what, we have an illegal government
Right, too.
or
You are-
a government that is breaching the sanctity of this country and the sovereign borders and allowing it to happen. So 2024, we remove that entity and things kind of go back on track. So there you go.
normal, Jeff.
Fabio, you can stay with us. There you go.
Fantastic. We will. We'll take you up on that. And then this,
Only
Jeff, look here. So Crypto put this out, and this made me pretty excited. CBDCs and privacy, yes. Groundbreaking privacy work by Mario Sedic and cryptography guru. This is David Chom of the XX network for the BIS with retail central bank digital currencies. Her upcoming video will share how to participate in this crucial network. So this is something that I haven't seen before. Anytime you take a CBDC and you include privacy, and if you guys don't know about XX, but David Chom, who's done a lot of work and been around a long time, David Chom is probably the guru of not only cryptography, but also when it comes to privacy. And again, this is, I know they got bounced from some exchanges because of privacy, and you don't want to. The whole idea is, you don't want to be shook down for your buying something, right? I mean, what do you have to deal with that? So, developer of vault systems, blind signature, mixed networks, and the first anonymous digital currency, which is XX, anonymous, right? Good idea. So I'm going to be excited about that. There's a little bit of teaser here, but this is something worth watching. I had reposted this saying this is the way. However, I'm surprised, Jeff, that this would actually get any traction, because it seems to be the allure of the CBDC by governments is like, wait a minute, you're saying that I can shut somebody down because, well, they said something a little bit off color. Are you saying I can do that? And you're like, yeah, okay, I'm in. Now, privacy is a whole different thing. They want to have.
Now they bake privacy into a CBDC.
I mean, I like the idea, but is anybody going to adopt this? Who's going to adopt this, Jeff? El Salvador, maybe. They're in the Bitcoin.
Well, who's going to trust them?
Well, that's the other part too. It's like I would trust the centralized entity of David Chom and XX, but I don't know that I would definitely trust
No, see,
government.
I reach into my wallet
What do you got,
And
Jeff?
then
Got a
see
couple
what kind of
hungies in there?
it's funny.
Couple
Spent
hungies?
all my money. That's all I got left.
Well, that's because you got a $20 a $20 Canadian?
No, this is actually I have a 20 Canadian inside
Is it a
sitting on
20?
the table. This is 20
20
in the UK.
20 quid.
20 pounds. There we go. Trying to think of the word
We know
pounds.
other money too, so
But thing is, think about the privacy baked into this 20-pound note, right? If I spend this 20-pound note, what happens?
I don't know. You don't have 20 pounds anymore.
No, but there's no tracing it specifically, right? I go to the
Oh.
store and I buy something. I can
camera.
buy whatever I want, but if I use a CBDC, they can stop me from spending my CBDC. Whereas you can't do that with this. Although I did have an experience where I had a whole stack of currency from Scotland, and I've been trying to spend it. And since it expired, they had to change over currency over the past few years. And now I have a whole bunch of 20s, and I can't use them. Whole bunch of coins, can't use them. There you go. And that's what happened. Tried to spend it the last time I was there, and they're like, "What is this funny money?" I said, "I don't know. It's your money."
I like how it's
Not
kind
my
of
money.
sticky feel. I like that feel. I don't like the way the US dollar feels. I like how money around the world feels. It's like plasticky. And you know what? You know those like
That's
one
nothing like American currency. I thought I had some dollars lying around here.
like the way they clink in your hand, clink, they make that noise. It's so satisfying, Jeff. Just have a pocket of like 10 of those, 1 quid sort of coins.
But ours makes sense. All the bills are the same size. All the coins make sense.
It's
Kind of
dumb.
fold them up, stick them in your wallet.
Doesn't make
And you
any
go to other currencies. Some are really big, some are
They're
really small,
color, plastic. They got
different colors.
embedded sort of like
So
stuff
complex.
anti-counterfeit. It's made out of paper still. It's really behind
Yeah.
the Jeff.
We got good stuff.
It's not good at all. It's very,
They're using
very
plastic.
weak. I don't even know what you call it, but it's not a good look. That's what I would say. It's just not.
Yeah, let me pull this up while we're talking about not a good look. This Bill Morgan had posted this, and so he's saying, not great logic from an attorney who had been on the SEC v. Ripple case. The token itself is not a security, but you should register the token. This is the SEC's thinking. The token represents a security. The SEC's ideal outcome is a court accepts its theory that because the token allegedly has allegedly no inherent value, that any sale must be an investment contract. And so he was actually referencing Leo Schwartz, 10 of this talk with the departed SEC crypto litigation leader, LaDon Stewart, where she debated Rebecca Rettig and New York crypto lawyer. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, that's Lewis Cohen. Over her agency's controversial approach. In one notable exchange, Stewart said the SEC does not view tokens as securities, but instead their offer and sale. So Rettig said, "But what then do you register?"
Right.
Stewart answered that the token plus all the stuff around the token is a security. You can't obviously register all this stuff, but you can register
Makes
the
zero
token.
sense, dude.
Like this is the logic of an attorney that makes no sense, no logic. But we agreed that's not the security and that's not the investment contract either. Rettig applied. This is, I think, where the industry and the SEC have this divide, which is tell us what to do, and it's hard to know. Cohen jumped in. It's impossible. It's not hard. So this is the stupidity that is coming out of those that are defending this horrible action on part of the SEC. So here's the SEC go. So how then can you take this is the logic that the attorneys are operating with to defend an SEC action that obviously isn't really there to defend retail investors or make it easier. And at the same time, they're using this illogic logic. And so now, how do you have settlement? How do you settle with an entity that has legal representation that is thinking like this, where they're saying, come and register the token? Like, it's like, makes no sense, but yet they're going into this pretrial conference and everyone's like, oh my God, they're going to settle. They're going to settle. There's going to be settlement. from day one, 3 years ago, you and I have said there's no path to settlement because the SEC and the current mindset of from a political perspective won't even allow them to. And then from a control perspective, the SEC, just that mindset won't allow them to settle with Ripple as an entity. And here's Ripple trying to defend their own
Right.
presence, and at the same time XRP, and at the same time knowing that their case will be the case that other cryptocurrencies are judged by. So there's a lot riding on it. So now how do you where's the intersect?
Well, Jeff, all they really had to say was in the Howey case, which all this is based on, the Howey test, right? The 4 prongs of the Howey test. Just a quick question for you, SEC attorney. Was the orange the token? Was the orange the security? No, it was the scheme, right? It was the scheme by which it's put together. It's like, how do you miss the basics of that, Jeff? And I commented on that. I
Register
said
the
not all
orange.
attorneys
Register the orange.
are the same caliber, particularly those who become corrupt while serving in government roles. It's like you're a regular attorney, you believe, oh, this is the Howey test, but then you get to the SEC and you're like, oh, everything's a security. I'm a hammer, everything's a nail. Let me go hammer it. It's just, it's asinine, really.
Robinson.
Ding,
Start playing a banjo.
ding, 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 ding,
I'm sure they'll feel real comfortable.
Are we talking about deliverance here? What are we talking about? My God, what the?
What banjo are we talking about?
Playing a banjo. With banjo on my knee.
Lewis saying, how do we get such morons in positions of authority? Oh, no, this reminds me of the Guam capsizing question for U.S. Rep. Johnson.
No, remember Johnson was like, he had this whole thing where he went on. I wish you could find that, Jeff. Can you find that? Can you locate that? But he actually, this was like serious. I always thought it was a joke, but he said that Guam could actually capsize if too many people were on one side of the island. I mean, the things that people, I mean, Jeff, quite honestly, I thought to myself, like, at some point, I'm running for Congress because it can't be that difficult, Jeff. I can take apart almost anybody in any argument. I'm like, how difficult is this? There's certainly enough mental illness running around, right? You know what I always say? Liberalism is a mental disorder. It just is. You're mentally debilitated. That's all it is to it. When I saw that, when you were reading that, Jeff, I was thinking to myself one thing and one thing only. How to tell me who you voted for without telling me who you voted for. When you were talking about mental instability, that's the first thing that came to my head. I'm not going to lie. It's like, you know, the other one I see a lot of is, I put this out the other day and it was misunderstood, but, you know, never interrupt your enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves. You just let them run with it. Oh, doing a pretty good job. I'm just going to sit back, get the popcorn and just enjoy it. And then somebody responded to that because they didn't understand the intent behind it. Health, please play this. Oh God, this is going to be great.
See if we got the, oh, you know what? I got to unshare and share again. They should put a little toggle once you've shared to then turn on the audio. Because then you got to go, you got to unshare. Then you got to remember to toggle again.
Share, unshare.
Just give us a toggle. Just one toggle. That's all I asked for. Of all the other developments. There we go. Okay, here we go.
This is a island that at its widest level is 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the east widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
I got impressed with the Admiral.
No, the funny part about it is like, what was Anderson Cooper doing writing this stuff down? He was even laughing. Like they were even having some fun with it.
Oh, God.
But come on.
That was back when they had fun on the media before they became
I do remember little instances
Autobots.
like, thank you for bringing that up. I needed to see that one last time. It was going to capsize, because that's what islands do. That's what you've grown up your whole life learning about islands that have capsized in the past. Thank you. We didn't say it, man. We just played it. There's plenty of stuff that we can.
Oh my God, that's too much.
You wanna guess which political affiliation he is? Any thoughts? Just say
Oh my God. Now let's look at the statistics of Guam. Let's see if there's
all the islands
any
that
fear of it capsizing.
you were growing up.
Have any
Tip over.
have any islands ever capsized?
I like how he's
Is
asking the
Guam
Yeah, I
in
don't know.
jeopardy
Have that figure with me. What's your question?
of
Well,
capsizing?
so many people. First, it was 12 miles. Then it was 24 miles long. Then it was 7 miles. What's the point? Well, it's so small that it could actually capsize. It could actually flip over. Because that's, kind of all we've heard throughout the history of, problems about islands capsizing, becoming overpopulated.
Oh,
Capsizing.
that was
hell,
in 2010.
Who brought that up? Get a gold star.
And then somebody wrote on one of these, is it true that Guam may capsize because of too much weight on one side because of the American military equipment?
Rob wants 4
Someone
guests.
said, no, it's an island. It's not a floating boat.
It's an island. It's a boat. And even a boat won't do that. Even a boat, this is funny. Rob wants 4 guesses.
Oh
Rob,
my God,
one.
that's
I'm
too
pretty sure you
much.
Sophie she came in late, but she'll
Uh,
run. There you go. I appreciate that.
Oh, and Dollar figured out who blocked him, by the way.
Who did? Who was it that blocked them? Do we know?
Said he sent you a DM.
Oh, okay.
So you can look and figure it out.
He went through the list. That person's going to be in big trouble, Jeff. Big trouble. Big trouble in Little China. I'm telling you right now.
The landmass at Guam is 212 square miles, 30 miles long and 9 miles wide.
They could have just looked it up.
Chicago.
Didn't they just look that up, Jeff? I think
They could have 2010. They could have Googled it. Guam. 2.57 births per woman in 2021. GDP grows at about 1.1%. GDP is about 6.1 billion. You know what the GDP of Florida is?
I don't know.
GDP of Florida, 1.28 trillion.
What?
Yep.
A little bit bigger, Jeff. I'm not a mathematician, but that's a little bit larger if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Oh, wait. Yeah, in 2023, the real gross domestic product, the GDP of Florida, was 1.28 trillion. I saw a video, if the U.S., if Florida and Texas were to secede, I think, and then it would have to take some of the Gulf states with it, we'd be, I think, one of the 5th largest global economies.
Let's do it, Jeff. Let's secede. So what do we need? We need Florida, Texas, and what?
Florida, Texas, Louisiana. It'd be nice if we could take Alabama and Georgia.
That would be the block right there. And we'll just be like, and everybody else, screw you. Go to hell.
You need to have a contiguous state.
There you go.
It's a weird video. I don't know. Too many videos about that stuff nowadays. Let's see, here we go. That's not it. I see the growth rate of the GDP in Florida. Let's see. All right. What's next?
That's it. We're done. Show's over. We're at time.
GDP of East St. Louis is $2.37.
Is it that much? My God. How did that happen? By the way, I saw
We do have a lot of snakes. We have a lot of snakes here.
A building that sold for a couple $100 million sold for like $3 million. I'm like, well,
what?
If you look it up, so I think it was a building in St. Louis that had sold for
Mhm.
close to 80 to 100 million before, a couple $100 million. Sold for $3 million. It's bizarro.
That's crazy.
It's
The Marshall Islands have an atoll, and the center sunk left was at all a circle of islands. The Marshall Islands. Let me look. Hang on.
Did they capsize because people were like moving to the wrong
They
place?
did. Let's the Marshall Islands. This is what we're going to learn. The GDP of the Marshall Islands, 258 million.
Marshall Islands. There you go.
Main source of income in the Marshall Islands? Handcrafts. Production of copra and handicrafts. What is copra? Do we know what copra is?
I don't know what that is.
Subsistence economy consists of fishing, breadfruit, banana, taro, and pandanus. I don't know what pandanus is, but they must know. And that on the outer island, you get copra and handicrafts. And then you have modern service-oriented economy is located in Majuro and Ebi. Interesting. That'd be a cool place to go.
No, we got to get out of here.
I've never
Jeff.
been to the Marshall Islands.
I never have either. We got to get out of here.
Now we got to go to Guam and the Marshall Islands.
Okay.
Nope.
Let's go to Vanuatu first. All right, that's it. We're getting out of here, guys. Really appreciate you checking in today.
Great show.
We'll see you Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
Saturday, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. And we
Be
will
there or be square.
Be square and still show up. Be fantastic. So that's all we have for you guys. See you on the next one. Chip and Jeff
out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.